Welcome back, all. So I have created myself a new directory called wireless, where I have actually moved all the captured files. Now mine is called tocrack01. Yours could be called something else. I don't know, depending on how you've named it. Anyway, so we have two general methodologies for the brute force. You can use the CPU, which we're going to use first, and then you can use the GPU, which we are going to use second. You will notice that the GPU process is a lot faster. But before we can actually get into all of that, we need something to generate passwords for us. Now you can download these enormous word lists, which is if you're using a word list, then it's actually called a dictionary attack. If you're not using a word list, then it's called a brute force attack. I personally prefer a modified version of a brute force attack, where I myself specify parameters to the password generating algorithm, which then in turns generates passwords which are likely to be used in my environment. Because if you download a dictionary somewhere from the net, a file, you can never, you can never make one dictionary that's universal to the world. I mean, that would be huge. So I generally just like to implement a series of rules when generating passwords and then use those passwords. Now, there is a bit of a downside to this, as the process is a little bit slower, but not by that much. But you will see how it actually works on a GPU and how it actually works on a CPU. You will see the difference. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go ahead and download and install our program for generating passwords, which will be Crunch. So Crunch password generator. And some of you might tell me like that, all of this already exists in Kali, and why do I bother installing it on Fedora? Well, Kali is not really a distro which you can use on a daily basis. I mean, Fedora is. Fedora is basically a workstation distro. And plus, on top of that, you actually learn a lot of things by just installing and configuring things manually, as opposed to having them installed and configured there by somebody else. So just download Crunch 3.6 TGZ. The download shouldn't take long. It's fairly small. No, thank you. I do not wish to subscribe. Today, my friend. Today, I beg of you. I've already downloaded it, actually. It should be in the... Oh, wait, I've actually deleted it. Or have I? Okay, this is nothing to do with me, quite literally. This is the problem on the site. I do not know why is it taking so long. Maybe, okay, enable this actually blocks the Java code, which I've showed you. Okay, let's attempt this one more time. There we go. So save file. This only temporarily disables it, but I can re-enable it anyway. And I can go ahead and just click on it and state that I wish to extract this. So I will extract to, I don't know, let's say documents. Sure, why not? And close this. No, thank you. Goodbye. Okay. So if I just go cd and, well, actually, let me just give you the full path. So you go to the home directory, and then you type in your username, and then you type in documents, and then you type in Crunch, and then you will be in the folder. So you have a good amount of files here. You just need to basically type in make, and then make install, and that's it. That's literally it. You don't need to do anything else. Look, I'm outside of the folder. If I type in Crunch, I don't know, to enter, it's going to start generating the passwords for me. which is amazing. However, I do wish to go back to that folder. Actually, I'm gonna do that in the topmost terminal, because there is a character sets there. There are character sets there, which I would very much like to take a look at. So, and you as well. So if I just type in cat char set lst, you will see that there are a lot of characters here. And do I have the command saved here so I don't have to retype it? Excellent, so I do. Let me just go ahead and expand this a little bit further so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm a perfectionist with these things. I like to have it symmetrical. I don't know why. Anyway, so you have the 820 represents the length of the password. So beginning from 8 characters, and 8 characters is the minimal, and 20 is the maximum length of the password. -F, char set lst, mixed alphanumeric. This specifies which characters you wish to use. You can specify the characters manually. You can specify the certain positions as well, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. It says here mixed alphanumeric. So mixed alphanumeric. Let's go ahead and find mixed alphanumeric. Mixed alphanumeric. There we go. So it should be lowercase letters, capital letters, and numbers. And that is what most passwords for wireless consist of. I have seen a lot of them, and I haven't seen many of them use any sort of symbols or characters or anything like that. And usually if they do have a capital letter, it's usually the first letter, and everything else is lowercase and then numbers. And it, like, at least 70% of all the passwords that I've seen did have that particular shape, which makes our job a lot easier. I mean, yeah. However, if you just want to create all the possible combinations with alphanumeric, with lowercase, uppercase letters, and numbers, and if you wish for the minimal length of the password to be 8 and for the maximum length of the password to be 20, this will be bad for you. Look at this. Press enter. Right. You need to specify the path to the char set. So if you just go into the folder and run it from there. Okay, I've interrupted it before it began. So it would take 8,321 petabytes of space. that is a ridiculous number. I mean, ridiculous. That's like a data center right there. 8,321 petabytes. So it's huge. You cannot possibly generate this and store it anywhere. It would be, I mean, you would need a stupid amount of space. Petabytes is enormous. Go out onto the net if you want and look at the comparisons between petabytes, terabytes, and gigabytes. It's they differ a lot. Petabyte is a lot. Anyway, as I said, 8,321 petabytes, that's probably the storage size of a data center somewhere or something like that. And you're not going to be able to generate this and store it. Fortunately for us, the method that I'm going to be using does not require us to actually store the password lists anywhere. They can be, as soon as they are generated, the output of Crunch can be taken and it can be fed to the algorithm that is actually in charge of cracking the password. So we're going to do that in the follow-up tutorial. I'll see you there.